I want to take it back a little bit, and that's going to date me probably, but I really want to take you back to when I was a kid. And when I was, actually, I don't, because it's not switched. Oh, yay, he's running. Yay, awesome. So this is not exactly me, but I looked a lot like this. I was obsessed with reading the dictionary and the yellow pages and all that stuff. I was very weird. But it gave me an appreciation for words and what they mean. And these days, where dictionaries don't look like this anymore, I find myself a lot like this, staring at all these words that we throw at what we do and at the things that we do, and wondering what has gone wrong.
People, are you ready? Are you ready for the ultimate tech startup competition? Let me hear it. Disrupt!
Hello, my name is Saeed Jabrani. I am the CEO of Ametabug, and we're here to revolutionize the way you report bugs on your mobile platform.
Happen will revolutionize location-based mobile news aggregation as you know it.
We're making the world a better place through Paxos algorithms for consensus protocols.
And we're making the world a better place through software-defined data centers for cloud computing.
A better place through canonical data models to communicate between endpoints.
A better place through scalable, fault-tolerant distributed databases with ACID transactions.
We're making the world a better place, aren't we? And we do that while we disrupt, while we innovate, while we Uberize our lives. It really is like a wildfire. You can't do anything normal anymore. You can't design, you can't code, you can't invent. You have to throw these kind of things. And so because of my love of the dictionary and because I feel that we're really losing perspective, I decided to explore some words and what they mean in the context of what we do. So innovation. You can't make things anymore. You have to innovate. You have to move forward all the time. The reality, as Pam was saying, is that pretty much everything we do looks back. It's a copy, rinse, and repeat of the things that we do.
Brad Pitt is on the red carpet, and his fly is completely down. Had Brad Pitt been wearing Notify, he would have known that and gotten a cool message telling him, hey, your zipper's down, and not gotten that bad media coverage. Notify is this extension of something we call Invisible UI, and that is Invisible User Interface. And that's an extension of our phones or our devices. This allows us to better see and know what's going on with the world around us, as well as our own personal space. And Notify is kind of a cheeky use of that.
He is so happy. We have solved a massive problem. First of all, I really don't want to think about the guy who's doing his business and takes out his phone and looks at it. It's a bit gross. But seriously, whose problem are we solving? Do we really need something to tell us that our fly is open? Maybe we do, because we tend to talk with robots more than we talk with each other. But I am not really sure that I would be as happy if I walked out of the bathroom and something beeped in my pocket. It's a bit evocative. But you know, we've innovated. We've taken an old product, we've made it better, we slapped some technology on top of it. Of course, if you forget your phone, you're SOL. You know, you'll never know that your fly is open because all the humans will be too busy interacting with robots. But we will have disrupted. Disruption is an interesting one because it comes from a Latin word, which is also an Italian word, which is rompere, which means to break. And we talk about disruption as, you know, a way to break convention, a way to break our mental models. But really, it feels like breaking and entering more than anything else. So I worked in the States in healthcare and in health policy for a long time. And healthcare is interesting because there are a lot of opportunities. But when we think about disruption in healthcare, we tend to think about one of these examples. This was Theranos was the offspring of this woman whose only claim to fame was that she had dropped out of college. She was studying biology or chemistry. And she came up with this concept of disrupting the medical analysis field. And so she created these 5-minute labs that were placed in pharmacies, which in the States are slightly different from what they look like here. And fundamentally, it was no needles. You went, you pricked your fingers, and this amazing disruptive technology would give you your test results in 5 minutes. Got a buttload of money. Labs pretty much everywhere. Technology didn't work. She did not disrupt anything. But she broke, and she entered the pharmacy business, and she left, and nothing happened. But we get so excited, and we take her, you know, she was the Uber of medical analysis. So we get really hung up on that. Pam was showing Jibo. It's artificial intelligence meets Internet of Things. And one of my favorite websites is the Internet of Useless Things. There's plenty of that. But there are some really fundamental products, I think, that solve some fundamental human needs. And so I would like you to meet Quirky.
Hi, I'm Ben, and this is the Egg Minder. This is one of the first products we did with our friends at GE. It's a very simple product, but it's absolutely amazing. It's an egg tray that goes in your fridge. It holds eggs. It holds actually 14 of them. And it actually keeps track of how many eggs you have at any given time. So let's say you're at the market and you want to know, well, do I need eggs or not? You just look at your phone, you look at the app, and it says, yeah, you need eggs. But the best feature, the feature I think is most cool, there's little LEDs next to each egg, and it tells you what the oldest egg is. And you just sort of take it, and you see the next LED pops on, tells you that's the next oldest egg. Yep. And then you go, and then bam, cooking some eggs. Very simple. The first of a long line of GE Quirky products that are coming out, and a very wonderful one. Go ahead and invent your own GE and Quirky products at quirky.com/GE.
It's awesome, right? It's connected all right. Revolutionary. Yeah, so I wanted to buy one because I don't eat mayo, but I've had this impulse of making mayo at home because I knew I could rely on something to tell me that I didn't have enough eggs and enough fresh eggs in my fridge, except when I got it and I went to the supermarket and I connected to it, I realized that nobody had invented the lemon minder. And so I didn't have lemons to make mayo. But on the other hand, I opened a startup, and the lemon minder is going to come on the market. Never. Seriously. Why? The internet is full, and our lives are full of these things. And it feels to me that GE could do a lot better. I mean, this is not a spoof. This is a product. GE could do a lot better than that. But even when I look at things like this, I wonder what goes on. Why do we feel this need to attach a sensor or attach a tether, not so much to things, but to us, to the humans who fall into these traps? So this is Leo. And I was really hopeful when I saw Leo being introduced because it's a new take on, I thought it was a new take on something that is absolutely old and could use a refresh, and that's the smoke alarm. So smoke alarms, smoke detectors are massively important. And you know what happens typically? It's old technology. 3 in the morning, beep, 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 the battery is going off. And of course, smoke alarms are put on the ceilings, and so at 3 in the morning, you're rummaging for a ladder or a broom, more likely, to break the damn thing that doesn't let you sleep. This is not a smoke alarm. This is something that listens for your smoke alarm and then pings your phone and lets you know on your phone that the smoke alarm went off. So we've taken a $20 or a 20-pound piece of technology and we've slapped on top of it a $99 or 99 pounds piece of technology that listens to the $20 piece of technology, but that does not work unless you have a 600-pound piece of technology to receive that signal. Is that intelligent? No. I don't think so. And speaking of artificial intelligence, everybody talks about it. And you know, we are so desperate to have other beings that we can communicate with or other things that we can communicate with. That, you know, in the 60s, it was the aliens. Now we have the robots and we have the bots. And we really want to talk with everybody other than with our fellow human beings. Artificial intelligence can go horribly wrong. Pam was talking about Tay. If you're not familiar, is everybody familiar with Tay, by the way? Yeah? Okay, good. Things can go horribly wrong, but the truth is that things can also go fairly well. One of last year's Interact speakers, Pete Traynor, is doing phenomenal work in the field of artificial intelligence as a way to predict suicide based on the information that we collect. So it's not all bad. But we are so intent on making a thing that we can talk to that is going to be more intelligent than we are and engage us in things that we don't want to do anyway because we're mortally scared of our fellow human beings. It is a little baffling to me. It is not the reality I want to live in. And the question is, whose reality is it that we are designing? Who are we doing these kind of things for? We are building products and things that are arrogant, they're devoid of humility, and they solve the needs of the people that design them. We're not solving human needs. Jibo, I'm sorry. It is creepy. I know it's not a product, but what needs does it fix? That you don't have to run to take a photo with a group of people? Is that even a need? And so I try, you know, I'm standing here and I'm telling you that stuff is not intelligent, that stuff is meaningless, but I've made the same mistake. And I'm sure, you know, and I caught myself in Mumbai looking at I think they're called dabawalas, the tiffin men, that are carrying these trays of lunch boxes. They have a system that it's one of the best logistics system in the world. The way it works is traffic is insane in Mumbai. Going to lunch is frowned upon. You work long hours. So historically, wives or mother-in-laws or mothers stayed at home, cooked lunch for the men that went to the office, and these tiffin men would go and collect from the home hot lunches that got delivered straight to the desk of the workers. And they have this phenomenal system of symbols and routes. They load these big trays that you see on the screen on trains, and they pride themselves on having really low error rates. And I was looking at them, and I was thinking, what if we put a computer systems behind that? Isn't that a wonderful startup idea? What if there were an app to do this? And I stopped mid-thought, saying, why? Why do we need to do that? Just because we can? Why do I need to think about redoing something that works, and that works so well that Deliveroo and Just Eat, et cetera, in Mumbai don't deliver using their couriers. They're actually striking up a deal with the Tiffin Men Union, which is a thing that exists, to deliver their things. Why do we have this impulse to fix things that aren't broken just because we can? Shouldn't we instead focus on those things that are insufficiently interesting, that are unsexy, that aren't shiny, but they do matter a great deal? If the fundamental definition of design is to solve problem, why are we so fixated on solving problems that don't matter, finding solutions to problems that don't exist, creating problem statements that have absolutely no grounding in what human needs are or societal needs? Need is a big word. Think about it. We say, I need a new phone, I need a new car, I need to buy those shoes that cost $400 or 400 pounds. We don't need any of that. If we really went back to the needs that we have as human beings, food, shelter, companionship, air, I would say that 90% of what we do wouldn't be around. But the truth is that, we shouldn't be stuck in the past. The reality that I know, the world that I know, the world that you know right now are not going to be around. And Charlie was saying earlier, we don't know what technology is going to look like. I work for a financial institution now. We don't know what the future of banking is going to look like. I don't think, we hail Monzo and Atom and Venmo in the States and Penny and Stash and all those things as the future of finance. Truth is, we have no clue. And so, wouldn't it be better if all those values, if all those emotions that we're trying to outsource to technology, to the bots, to an artificial intelligence that we are creating, wouldn't it be better if we employed them in the things that we're designing right now to create a better place for a future that we don't know? What if we were able to employ empathy towards the people that are with us? We talk about transformation. Digital transformation is one of the big buzzwords of the industry. Every financial institution, every major corporation, everything is in transformation. This is transformation with empathy. This is what the UK government did 4 years ago, I think. I remember when Paul Arnett, who at the time was leading this effort, came to Baltimore at the IA summit and unveiled gov.uk. This is empathy at work. So in Great Britain, almost 10.6% of the population are below the fuel poverty line. That means that they don't have enough money to warm their houses when it gets cold, and it's starting to get cold. The ability to find information about how to go about getting benefits to make sure that their kids or their elderly don't go cold this winter is a transformation that I can stand behind. And humility. Why don't we employ humility in what we do? We all want to do the Uber of this and the shiny of that and the thing that goes on TechCrunch. This is We Care Solar. This is innovation done right. This was born as a medical aid device. It's solar panels connected to power cells that enable doctors in rural areas to access, to charge their phones or charge their instruments or charge the tablet portable EKG machine so that they can provide intervention where is needed, save lives. You know, it's not shiny, nobody hears about that. That's a box, doesn't even have pixels. We're so fixated with innovating and disrupting in the pixel space. The pixel space doesn't exist without humans that use the pixel space. And what happened to compassion? This is one of the best products I've ever seen. We hear about floods, global warming, which we are causing. You want Internet of Things? This is the real Internet of Things. This is a beacon. It's called Flood Beacon. You pop it in a river. It has GPS tracking. It measures the depth, the level of water. It predicts floods. It generates data. It travels, so it stays connected to indicate position and to generate data that can be used, again, to save lives. Is it shiny? Does anybody knows about it? It doesn't matter. And conscience. We want to innovate. We want to make new things. And those new things are, the automatic lace tire that ties my shoes and connects to the internet and gives me a badge because I need to be recognized for that. This is innovation. Removing pollutants from the oceans, recycling plastic. This is what a 17-year-old can do. These are the key ingredients that are missing in the pursuit of what these words promise to us. There is a fantastic book that's just come out that talks about, designing for desire and, how we employ design to create things that only we want and not to address what it means to be human. And there is a sentence that I think I want to leave with you as my gift because it's made me think quite a bit. Design may provide the map, but the moral compass that guides our personal choices remains within us all. That means me, and that means you. Thank you.
We have time for questions.
Yes.
That was a delightfully human presentation, followed by a human presentation, followed by a human presentation. Oh, do you know what? Hopefully, some of this may spread further than just this little hall, because that's what we're designing for. Questions? We do need the microphone, so if you have a question, you'll need the mic as well. We may even expect you to dance.
I think they just want coffee.
No, we have a question.
Alberta, thanks for that, it's great. You were mentioning the moral compass within us all. How does that moral compass work within the corporations that push to us? And how can we expect them to have their own moral compass?
Well, fortunately, much as I'm stuck in the old day, you know, in the Stone Age for certain things. Everything is in evolution, and corporations are in evolution as well. So please don't tweet this if you're so inclined. So I work for a bank. Banks have no conscience, right? That's our perceptions. But there is noticeable change. I think that even corporations are realizing that ethics, so Pam and Charlie were talking about having the ethical conversation. Ethics are important, not just as a PR opportunity, but also to be able to retain talent and to be able to acquire market share more and more. So we love to hate on millennials. I've done some projects actually in the asset management space, which is a weird space for, you know, morality and ethics. And when we did research, what we found out that a lot of millennials were very interested in financial products that were in line with their ethical beliefs. So corporations have no choice but take notice that beyond what are the very visible fads or very visible political stances when it comes to ethics, people really are more attuned with their own moral compass, and that being attuned is reflected in the consumer choices that they make. So I think corporations, like it or not, are realizing that they have no choice in that. And even in financial services, I can certainly speak for what is happening inside my organization. The tendency is to bring in talent that has a very developed human angle. We're bringing in designers. I'm one of the first designers to go into the bank, but we're bringing in designers precisely because we are realizing that the era of profits and hard numbers tied to revenue is no longer here. So you either play that game or you're completely losing it. Does that answer your question?
Great, thank you.
Okay, that's a good question. That was a good question, wasn't it?
It was a great question.
Right, let's have another round of applause.